No, all good. Good to go. Hey, Evander. Hey. How's the weather been for you? Like 6 degrees? And
It's beautiful here. It's nice and warm.
Good. I know it's really early on here. What are your initial impressions of, the group, the game that they play, and just give us some of your early thoughts here.
Yeah, no, it's been really good. A little weird just with the break and whatnot, but yeah, guys have been great. Fans have been awesome. I've enjoyed my very short time here thus far, but looking forward to this homestand, seeing what the atmosphere is going to be like tonight, and yeah, so far so good.
You've been playing with Connor McDavid, and people will immediately start looking for signs of chemistry and this and that, but understanding you obviously haven't played a ton of games. So what would you say about your first few games playing with him, and how much time you think it takes before guys become comfortable with each other?
Yeah, I mean, obviously my first game, it was nice to contribute and get on the board, but it's Washington was definitely where I felt most comfortable. Felt a little bit more up to speed, and I think that's just going to continue to get better and better as we move along here. And probably by the end of the week, feel close to saying I'm as comfortable as I probably will be the rest of the year. So playing with Connor is great, obviously. It's going to take a handful of games or so to really get things clicking. But once they do, I think we're pretty excited about what could be the possibilities with that.
Thanks.
Vander, over here. What's the hardest part about joining a team in the middle of the season? It's different than missing training camp and maybe coming back in the end of October.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit more difficult too when you haven't played either. So I think probably just getting up to speed in terms of the pace and getting comfortable and how you're used to feeling out there on the ice. I think that's probably the most difficult thing. But again, yeah, it's been good to get the first couple of games out of the way and get it home here for a little bit and start to settle in here in Edmonton.
So is the hard part just the wind? The other team's been playing, the other guy's been playing 40 games. You haven't been playing any. Is the hard part staying out for your regular length of shift when the puck's going back and forth, as opposed to it's one thing going north, but when the puck's going back the other way?
Yeah, in Montreal, it definitely felt that way, but Ottawa felt much better than I did in Montreal, and even better in Washington. So I think the conditioning part is probably close to behind me now, which is great, and I think that will allow not only myself but hopefully our line to be even better than we have been.
And have you always been a good tipper of pucks in front of the net? Is that worked on?
I think it's something that, for me, if you want to score consistently in this league, you have to find different ways to score. You're not just always going to get, your 2-on-1 shot from the top of the circle off the rush or get your backdoor tap-ins. You got to find different ways to score. And if you look at guys that score consistently, even Ovi, he has a lot of garbage goals in front of the net. So just probably another layer that I wanted to add to my game, and probably spent a little bit more time on that in San Jose, just with some of the guys that they had back there that like to shoot the puck.
When you watch Pavelski tip pucks, is that how most people would love to be able to tip them the way he does? Yeah,
I mean, he's clearly the best guy in front of the net in the league, and playing with him for a couple of years there and seeing how you score 6 or 7 goals a year off tips, that adds up pretty quickly. So again, just trying to figure out different ways to help contribute and score goals.
Good, thank you.
Thanks.
Evander, you have a reputation on ice. Some opposing players tell me you can be mean at times, and that's meant as a compliment. Edmonton has really struggled this year getting off to good starts, being an emotional team. As you get more comfortable, and you talked about conditions behind you, kind of bringing that nasty element, and if you have it, other guys feed off of it. Do you sense that? Is that something you look to bring here in the second half of the season?
For sure. I mean, it's just part of my game. I think when it comes to that, not every game is the same. Certain times, there's a little bit more intensity and a little bit more bad blood in certain games than others. And obviously when there's, the other Montreal game, there's no fans in the stands, got out of hand early. Ottawa tight game. Washington game was probably the closest to what you just described there. But again, tight game. So, you have to be smart about it, but at the same time, I think when you get all 20 guys doing it, it can definitely help your team in terms of, later on in the game.
And it didn't necessarily mean it in fighting. Obviously, you can handle yourself there, but more just in like physicality, even maybe chirping. I don't know if you're a guy on the ice who does that, but sometimes just Milan Lucic told me that Brad Marchand, sometimes you're not in every game, and then Marchand would beat some guy, and suddenly he's in the game because of it. Mm-hmm. Does your team need a little bit more of that? They have a reputation of being a quiet team at times.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm able to really comment on that at this point, just because I've only played 3 games, less than a handful. So I don't really know, and we haven't really been in maybe a game that's needed that yet. But if we are, and when we are, because I'm sure it will happen sooner rather than later, I think that's something that I'm more than capable of adding to the group.
You chose to sign with Edmonton at a time where they were struggling, and obviously they were in a dip in their season, but you signed here for a reason. You obviously saw something in this group. So now that you're here, put a few wins together, how do you feel about your decision and about what this group might be capable of?
Oh, I feel fantastic about my decision, and I think even more comfortable and confident in what I thought I knew now being here. So I think this group has incredible potential. I think we're just starting to find our game. I think we're going to continue to get better and better as a team, especially down this stretch. I think playing almost every other day is going to be a good thing for us. It's going to help us hopefully going into the playoffs, be a little bit battle tested. And the guys went through some adversity before I got here, and sometimes that can be a good thing too.
Hey, Evander, how's it going?
Hey.
Last time you were in town here, actually, we talked about how you ordered a pizza and the guy signed the pizza wishing you luck for that night. I was just wondering, do you still have a pizza, pregame pizza, and how did that ritual kind of start for you?
Yeah, I'd probably say about 7 or 8 times out of 10 I'm having pizza before the game. It's just something I've always ate growing up as a kid. So that's my pregame meal a lot of the time. But as you get older, sometimes you change it up once in a blue moon.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. As you get older and you kind of maybe have to watch your diet a little more, do you maybe dial down, or do you not worry about that right now?
No, I think I'm in pretty good shape. So, yeah, it's more just of a preference.
Yeah. And now you've gone from playing 3 games in a week and a little bit to you're going to play 40 games in 81 nights, I guess. Can you just give me a thought on just approaching this? You're going to be playing every night, every other night, 3 and 4. It's going to be a crazy busy schedule for you right now.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think there's a few teams that are in our situation that are going to have tough schedules, but it's going to be a great test for us. We have a short homestand here, and then go on the road at the end of the month. So, we have to make sure that we're taking care of business at home and using that to our advantage, and setting ourselves up and putting ourselves in a position to be where we want to be at the end of the year.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys.